What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I'd like to talk about the Atlanta Falcons' newfound identity. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons' newfound identity. And personally, I really feel like on the offensive side of the ball, this Atlanta Falcons team identity is going to be to score a lot of points and put pressure on opposing offenses and opposing teams to chase points. I really feel like this is going to be a team similar to the 2016-2017 Falcons teams that made those deep playoff runs. In 2016, going to the Super Bowl. In 2017, losing to the Eagles in the divisional round. But both of those teams were high-powered offenses that put up a lot of points. And I really feel like this Atlanta Falcons team is going to be the same with guys like Michael Penix Jr., with Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and the list goes on and on of all the weapons that we have on this offense. I really feel like we're going to try to force teams to be imbalanced as far as we're going to try to take away other teams' ability to run the football, because we're going to be able to put up a lot of points early on in the game, and teams are going to have to abandon the run game. I really feel like that's going to be the identity, is to be in attack mode at all times on the offense. I expect Michael Penix Jr. to stretch the field and throw the ball deep down the field at times. And I expect Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier to be able to run the ball at will, being that we have one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. So I really feel like this is going to be a really hard offense to stop. Last season, the Atlanta Falcons offense ranked 6th overall in the NFL, even with the turnovers and things of that nature from Kirk Cousins later in the mid half of the season. We still was one of the top offenses, a top 10 offense last season. And I expect this team's offense to be even better this year. On the defensive side of the ball, we already have seen that Jeff Ulbrich is preaching to be in attack mode at all times. Coach Ali on the defensive line, as a defensive line coach, is talking about, being in attack mode and throwing haymakers at all costs. And I really feel like it's going to be similar on the defensive side of the ball as well. I feel like the identity of the defense is going to be to play with a lead, so these guys can come off the edge, the James Pierce Jr.'s of the world, the Jalen Walkers of the world, the Leonard Floyds of the world. I really feel like we have a lot of depth on our defensive line and at that linebacker position. And I expect this team to be able to force turnovers, because teams are going to be chasing points. They're going to have to abandon that run game, and they're going to have to try to throw the ball. And that's when you can unleash guys like the James Pierce Jr.'s, like the Jalen Walkers and the Leonard Floyds. If you remember in 2016, when Vic Beasley led the NFL in sacks, because we were putting up a lot of points in the first half of games and in the first quarter of games, teams would get down fast by double digits. They would get down by 7, 14 points, 17 points at times. And once you get down by that many points and that many possessions in a football game, teams start to panic and teams start to abandon their game plan. So I really feel like that's going to be what this Atlanta Falcons team's identity is going to be to be in attack mode at all times on the offensive side of the ball, putting up a lot of points and forcing teams to be imbalanced on the defensive side of the ball. Once you get that lead, allowing your edge rushers and those linebackers to pin their ears back and to be very aggressive. And once you are able to get pressure on the quarterback from that defensive line and from the front seven, that's going to allow our cornerbacks and safeties to sit on routes, and they're going to have opportunities for interceptions and things of that nature. So I really feel like this Atlanta Falcons team is going to be very dangerous this year. Just watching that first preseason game and watching the defense fly around, guys like DeMarco Hellams, even in these backup roles, you see that they bought in the Josh Woods of the world, punching the ball out. We've seen in this last game 2 takeaways in the last preseason game, which was our first preseason game of this season. And when you see that the backup players that may not even make the roster are bought in, you see those guys out there flying around on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen Easton Stick be able to drive us down the field. We've seen guys like Chris Blair making plays. We've seen pretty much everybody that actually got an opportunity. They made plays in this first preseason game. So I really feel like the identity for this Atlanta Falcons team is going to be to put up a lot of points. Like I said, be very aggressive both on offense and on defense, and force teams to have to abandon their game plan and abandon the run. One of the things that I was concerned about, and still am a little bit concerned about on the defensive side of the ball, is the Falcons really didn't beef up necessarily the defensive tackle position. If you look at that position, we still have guys that are like at that 300-pound mark. We don't have any 330-pound guys for the most part on this team. Outside of Lakel London, I think he's a guy that's like 320 pounds. But outside of him, if you look at the Ruka Rororos, if you look at the David Onyemadas, those guys are 300 plus pounds, but they're not the huge 320, 325 pound type of guys that you normally see at that one tech. We have a lot of athletes on our defense. We want guys that can run sideline to sideline. We want our defense to be like sharks or piranhas swarming to the football. We want guys that can run sideline to sideline, even in the trenches. So if you look at how this team is built, I really feel like they built it this way because they feel like we're going to be playing with leads. And once you play with leads, you can have like that NASCAR package similar to what you've seen with teams like the New York Giants when they had Justin Tuck, O.C. Umenyiora, Michael Strahan, where they would put teams, in compromised positions, and then they were able to put 4 down linemen in that could rush the passer. And that's what this Falcons team, from watching that first game, that's what this team kind of reminds me of. You've seen that we have a multitude of guys, whether it's AK, Arnold Epikady coming off the edge, whether it's James Pierce coming off the edge, whether it's Caden Ellis at times coming off the edge. You have so many guys that can pressure the quarterback. And even on the inside of the interior, we've seen in this last game, Taquan Graham, a guy who can get pressure from the inside and rush the passer. Guys like Ruka Rororon and Brandon Dorless. Those guys are not your traditional one-tech type of guys where they're just going to sit there and hold the point. They're actually guys that's athletic enough to get a sack. They're guys that's athletic enough to run sideline to sideline and make plays. So I'm really excited about this upcoming season, really excited about this Atlanta Falcons team and this unit that we have. And I really feel like the identity of this team, as far as being in attack mode at all times, is going to pay off. You guys know I've been banging the table for since I've had my YouTube channel about us having guys in the trenches and drafting guys high. If you've been putting value at that position, and the Falcons finally have listened and went after 2 guys in Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. So I'm really interested to see how this season pans out and see if what I believe in my experiment, if it actually works. I personally believe that you build your defense and your offense from front to back, meaning build through your offensive line, build through your defensive line, and then you work your way back. You put your high picks in those positions first. You got to be able to protect the quarterback to win games and to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to stop the run, and you got to be able to force negative plays on the defensive side of the ball, on your defensive line and your front 7. And I feel like the Falcons have finally put assets at those positions. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on this Atlanta Falcons new identity. Do you believe that the Falcons will be successful this season? Personally, I think that Terry Fontenot and this front office have done a great job. This coaching staff has done a great job of getting these guys to buy into the new identity. But I have a lot more content coming for you guys. If you enjoy my content, make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy. Make sure you hit that like button. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.